I've noticed the biggest problem people have is crafting a unique solution. And before that even happens, the biggest problem is they don't know how to find a profitable niche. This is how you can craft a unique solution and find a niche that actually can pay you. And a lot of the advice out there is very confusing, and I've been strayed in different directions from it as well. But when I nailed it, I went from struggling at the 7 to 15 grand a month level to making over $1 million in my first full year. And it was dramatic because I just literally went from what most people do, which is trying to make lists, or they'll create these mind maps, or they'll create tons of whiteboards. They're basically just like listing out all these things. Now the new thing, it's funny, is they will create 1,000 different chat GPT creations, right? So they'll type in all this stuff into chat GPT and AI will help them find all this stuff. And they never create it, they never do anything with it, or there's always just something kind of missing. And I get it because I've done it, and I've been down that road. And sometimes maybe you'll come up with one or two good ideas, but usually it's just stress, anxiety, and it really doesn't lead to any kind of success. So I don't know, maybe you feel this too. You're trying to figure out, how am I going to create a solution? Right now I've seen some articles where they're talking about we're in this thing called the Great Resignation, where people are actually resigning, writing their resignation letters to their job. Like 50% I've even heard of people at any moment, if they had a better opportunity, they would leave their current job and they would change it. They're looking for something with a lot more location freedom. They realize that the job that they may have, the career they may have, the skill that they built up is not paying them like they thought it would and or could. And also they just are not feeling this, where I got to be in this workplace under this particular rule at this particular time, doing this particular thing. And they know that their skill would most likely be served way better if they could get it in the hands of the right people, but they just can't figure it out. And the typical advice that they get usually falls short when they try to step out. It's like, follow your passion, or you'll know it when you see it. It's almost like you're picking some random lottery numbers and hoping that it hits. Or lightning strikes and you figure out what your niche is, and that really isn't a reliable strategy. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you 5 action steps here, but I'm going to give you some ideas to help you figure out your profitable niche and craft a unique solution. And just to give you an example, I've got this gal in my Make Once Pro program, where we teach people how to become virtual coaches, 6-7-figure coaches. She was out in LA trying to make it as a entertainer, or just be in that scene, the Hollywood scene or whatever. And she went and worked at a salon, and she was doing tans, spray tans and things like that. And she was making, $8-10 an hour, and she couldn't make her $116 car payment. And so she is, it's LA, it's expensive. And she's kind of freaking out. So she calls her dad, and she asks her dad, hey, I don't know what to do here. And when she did that, her dad's like, well, how much are you making for a spray tan? She's like, well, about $75-80. And he goes, and you're getting paid $8 to $12 an hour. Yeah. Why don't you just do it for yourself? If you don't need any kind of special licensing or anything like that to do it, why not just do it for yourself? She took the leap. She did it. Her dad gave her the encouragement, and she started her own spray tanning salon. She ended up spray tanning celebrities for like $500 per spray tan. It was insane, right? And she came up with her own unique method. Well, then she built out these locations. She had a location on Sunset Boulevard, actually, in LA, and she was doing very well. People were flying from the East Coast to the West Coast just to get a spray tan. I mean, we're talking, the affluent, right? Anyway, she literally was getting extremely burned out with that. Nobody wanted to get a spray tan from anybody but her, so she became this very valuable person in this particular skill set. Well, then, things kind of changed, and her career went to a different place, and she basically, I think, during some of the changes that we had majorly, in the 2020 era, changed a lot of this stuff. And so it was like, what am I going to do? And then the cost of having a brick and mortar store was huge. she has a skill. She's made a ton of money doing it, but now what? She's still in this prime point in her life where she can earn a lot, and she's learned this thing. She's got this skill. And so she's wanting to do this thing where she's basically going to be kind of like the Paul Mitchell of tanning, right? Like spray tans. She's got her own unique process. She knows the products, the tools, the material, everything to make it happen. Well, then she started sharing this skill with some of her girlfriends and some of the people that were helping her in the actual salon doing some of this stuff. And she came up with this idea about mobile spray tanning. And she figured out a process in a way to basically show somebody that is interested in spray tanning or in this field or in the whole, beauty niche, if you will, how to do mobile spray tanning and make, $200 to $300 to even $500 for a spray tan where you'd go to someone's house and spray tan them, or you'd create like a spray tanning event at someone's house, if you will, and you can go do this. So it's like mobile spray tanning, location freedom type thing. So she's taken this skill set and she's identified a group of people that, a very specific group. I mean, not everybody wants to do spray tans or even would be in the mindset to do that. I mean, you're basically showing up at somebody's house in a very intimate situation where they're not wearing any clothes or anything like that, and you're like spraying a tan on them. So what can we learn from this? What you want to do when it comes to creating a profitable niche and crafting a unique solution. When it comes to this niche, right? I want you to think about something here. What's a big problem or obstacle that they just ran into in their life where now it's like they're stuck, they're up against this wall, they don't know how to get across it? How are they going to figure this out? And the more detail and clarity that you have, the more magnetic your message and offer is going to be. When it comes to finding your niche, number one is, are they motivated to solve this problem? When I figured out this process, right, I went from basically running an agency for several years. I was in I worked with tons of different people. Everybody had a different little situation, and it was a different product, and it was just a nightmare, right? It was like I was running against the clock, and I was like, how can I trade my time from doing time for dollars to like bits for dollars? Like I needed to leverage, right? There was only so much of me and so much time, and it limited me. What it came down to was I really loved the internet. I was good at doing things with, graphic and video, and I could communicate and I could do these things. And then it came where people were just asking me, hey, what are you doing? Can I just do this myself? Can you just train my team? So what I'm getting at is this. I found that in the martial arts industry, because I took martial arts as a kid, I found that the martial arts industry, their marketing technique was put up a table, a booth, sit at a busy spot in the mall or at a fair, and give away free martial arts training to get new students. So knowing how to do digital marketing for all these agencies and stuff, I was like, I'm going to just specifically work on them. And I started a martial arts dojo student blueprint where I taught martial arts business owners how to do online marketing to get students. Okay. So there I was teaching this course, I was coaching them, and I went from doing it for them to doing it with them and coaching them. I was selling $5,800, $9,800 packages, and they would join me, and I would give them 2 weekly coaching calls. I had a step-by-step program, a 9-week program they went through. They would get it dialed in. Had thousands of customers, right? Well, then COVID happened. That knocked me out of that. So I started to stretch out. The point I was getting at is the person they were motivated to get students. Students meant money for them. They needed money, right? They were also searching for an actual solution. Like they were literally, I would get into groups on Facebook and it just all over the place, forums all over the place. And I found that they were literally just searching like crazy to try to find an answer. They had money. Their average student was worth about $1,800 a year to them, or just lifetime value is about $150 to $200 a month. They would teach them and they'd stay for 12 to 18 months. I knew that, if I got them at least 10 to 20 students that stayed for at least a year, they would make their money back plus. There we go. Makes sense. They gave me $1, I gave them back several dollars. What you want to do is you want to find out, are these people motivated to solve a problem? Number 2, are they searching for a way to solve the problem? And number 3, do they have money? And then what's their biggest pain? What's their biggest obstacles? What's their biggest goals? These are just line items that you need to understand in the way that they describe it. And then what solutions have they tried in the past? So, when I would run ads, I would show like a martial arts person holding balloons. I would do things like that because that's what they felt like. That's what they were saying and telling me. They're like, God, I'm tired of doing birthday parties, blowing up balloons, setting up tables, and doing these silly things. They're like, I want to be a martial artist, not a party clown, right? Just trying to get a student. These were the ways that they described it. And what they wanted is they wanted 100 to 200 active participating students, and they wanted to work with these people, right? Those were some of the solutions they tried. And when I mentioned that to them, it resonated with them. They could hear me. They were like, this person knows like what I'm dealing with. You got to also find out, where do they still feel stuck? Like, where are they stuck with the whole process? A lot of them didn't know how to actually, if they did get a lead, some of them walked around like parking lots with clipboards and tried to get leads, and then they didn't know how to close the lead after that, right? You got to find out, where is this person still stuck? And then after spending money, what are they still missing, right? So they would buy these different things that would show them how to do marketing, but it was missing the coaching aspect. It was missing the personalized, like, here's my problem, how to fix it, coaching aspect. And see, I didn't want to do one-to-one coaching, and I still don't teach that. Now, you can do that. You can charge a lot, and you can do more of a one-to-one if you want to charge high ticket. But what I was really interested in was the group coaching, because then I could, a couple times a week get in a Zoom where I'd have, 10 to sometimes 100 people in there, and I could specifically take different, some people, they just needed to be in there for accountability. The other ones, they would come in there with specific questions, and then when we would answer those questions, the other people would get, insight and answers, and they could always at any time talk to me if they wanted to. This was good, right? The group coaching model gave me, time leverage. I could do it from anywhere. And these are the types of offers that, I teach people how to create, and that I think most coaches, that are doing one-to-one would like to create. And so these were some of the things that when they spent money with other people, they didn't get. And so when I offered that, they got it, and this was a very big value for them. So you really want to figure out, after they spend money with a different solution that they tried to solve in the past that didn't work, what was still not getting solved? This is something that you can bring up or turn into a bonus or turn into something that helps. Now, I'm going to get to a specific way that you can do this, okay? And I'm going to make sure that you have complete clarity on this. But what you want to do is, when you're looking for a niche, you want to start with a small, hungry market. So imagine I could have went out there and just said, hey, digital marketing. Right? Oh, I do digital marketing. But that's really broad. I could have then went a little bit smaller and been like, the core topic that we're going to focus on is organic content marketing, or SEO. If I wanted to actually find a small, hungry market, I could go after SEO for creators to send out newsletters. This is a place where I could probably show up and be something in the industry. It's a small, hungry market, and from there you can build out, right? So I went from just helping martial arts business owners do digital marketing to get students, to then make Once Pro, where I'm helping coaches and course creators to develop a powerful coaching program and do group coaching, things like that. So it's not just helping with digital marketing, or it's not just helping with SEO. It's helping martial arts business owners with their newsletter SEO, right? It's getting very specific like that. And then what you're going to do to bring to the table is, you're going to have this unique blend of skills, experience, and perspective. So let's go back to the tanning solution, right? So she had the perspective of working for a tanning salon, owning her own tanning salon, and then doing mobile tanning, and then actually teaching other people how to do it, just to help out friends, that it actually ended up working. Again, there's all these different unique things that come together to craft a unique solution and focus on a target market that actually needs them. And then what you're going to discover in the market as you go out there, and I'm going to give you some action steps here, is you're going to find out that the market has these specific wants and needs. Martial arts business owners, they wanted new students. The needs they had were, they wanted somebody that they could talk to. They needed somebody that could carve out a plan specific to getting 100 to 200 students, or 10 to 12 students per week. And they needed somebody that could help them get their time back. They were spending so much time trying to get students, by the time they went to go teach, they were so wore out. And so it's the same thing that happens with coaches today. They're doing one-to-one coaching, or they're doing these specific things that are just sucking their time away, and they can never get ahead because they can't get any leverage, because they're always battling the clock. And so you want to take your passion, your interest in solving a specific problem, and combine it with your unique blend of skills and experience and perspective. And then the best thing that you can do, instead of just wondering and guessing or making a bunch of lists and things like that, is you can actually just do free one-on-one calls with your ideal customers, and you can talk to them and get feedback and refine an offer that actually resonates with them. And so that's what I ended up doing. Is when I actually found the martial arts niche, I still had an offer where I'd get on a free call with them, a free Zoom, and I would just talk to them for like 30, 45 minutes. And I did that with thousands of people. I was so in their head and understood their current situation, their desired situation, the block they were having, the things that they were held up on, the things they were stuck with, that I was able to tailor a solution they couldn't resist. And so this is the key to craft a solution. People literally cannot pass it up. It's like it's ideal for them. So that's what I would have you do, right? When you focus on solving a real deep inward emotional problem and pain that somebody has, and you do it for a specific group of people, you're going to have so much better of a chance of finding buying customers, working with people that can actually pay you, that are motivated, they're searching for something. This is the key. So here's my action steps for you. I want you to create a list of 5 skills or areas of competency that you have. Next, you want to identify 2 niches that you can potentially help or would want to help or want to serve, and you need to be specific. Not just digital marketing, not just SEO, but SEO newsletters for martial arts business owners to get students, right? Something specific like that, like come down, get more granular so you can be specific. Because remember, we want to start with a small, hungry market, and then as you progress in your abilities and everything like that, it'll push you out. Then what you want to do is find each one of those niches that you said that you would potentially help. And then what you want to do is you want to search like Amazon, Udemy, YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, and you're looking for things that are like bestseller or most popular or trending or problems or books or courses that are selling in that specific niche. And then what you want to find and note is put down 8 to 10 data points for each of these niches after that search. And what you're wanting to do is you're basically wanting to find people's current situation, their problems, the way they describe their pain, and then you want to find out what their desired situation, what is the core outcome that they want, what is the thing that they wish could happen or that was happening, and then what are the actual problems and things that they're stuck on, what is actually holding them up. And then you want to do where you take everything there and you identify 1 to 2 specific problems that you would be willing and wanting to solve for people that are actually paying to solve that problem. So list 5 skills or areas of competency that you have. Identify 2 niches that you would potentially want to help and serve, and you got to be specific. And then you want to find each of those niches and then search them out. Amazon, Udemy, YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, so you can find something that's already selling. And then we're going to write down 8 to 10 data points about where they are, where they want to be, what they're stuck with. And then you want to identify 1 to 2 specific problems that you would be wanting and willing to solve for people that are actually paying to solve that problem already. I hope this helped you. Again, this is how you can craft a unique solution and find a niche that actually can pay you. And so what I'd like is down in the comments, just put down there what you would like me to help you with, right? I'd love to know and hear about the challenges that you're actually having in your business, your coaching business, your course consulting business. Maybe you're an expert and you're trying to sell your expertise, you're trying to sell your knowledge, but what is the specific problem you're having getting going? I'd love to hear that. And what kind of videos can I make for you to help you personally with those problems?